In the late 19th century, St. Louis grew into an industrial powerhouse. Southern blacks flocked to America's fourth largest city for manufacturing jobs, but they faced severe racism from the white establishment. Segregation laws and housing covenants were used to keep blacks from moving into predominantly white neighborhoods.
St. Louis was one of the first places to pass these restrictive covenants, which is where folks would come through and start saying that essentially only white people could buy into a new subdivision. And so that kept home purchasing out of the hands of African Americans for a long time.
While these practices were eventually struck down by the courts, other methods, including zoning laws and unofficial redlining or mortgage restrictions, have been used to reinforce the housing divide. Blacks were funneled into neighborhoods on the city's north side. Delmar Boulevard became the cutoff.
This is the infamous Delmar Divide right here. Yeah. And you can see it looks like mortgages are afraid of black people, because everywhere that African Americans live, there's virtually no mortgage activity. Only 4% of the mortgages issued last year were issued north of Delmar.
As a direct result of these policies, home ownership rates here today are roughly the same as they were in the 1950s, and St. Louis remains one of the most segregated cities in the country.
When we don't allow folks to buy homes, we set off this domino effect that keeps families in poverty. Over half of the intergenerational wealth transfer in the United States goes via the home. And so we've set up a system that makes it far more difficult to succeed at life if you're born black or in a black neighborhood.
Grinding poverty, high levels of unemployment, and persistent segregation are a combustible mix. Add to it the proliferation of firearms in the city, and the chronically high murder rate here begins to make sense. Just how accessible are these guns?
They just heard. They always been here. Everybody got one.
These are some young men involved in the local rap scene who say they are seeing more guns on the streets than ever before. Together, they've known dozens killed over the years whose lives were lost to gun violence.
It's worse now.
It's so easy to get a gun. All you got to do is sign a paper and get them your money.
In 2016, Missouri made it legal for state residents to carry concealed weapons without a permit, criminal background check, or training.
They ain't finna change the gun laws here, so.
Earl Isom, or Ezo as his friends call him, is a budding director and rap manager who's been trying to leave the street life behind.
Before that, she stayed on Morrison. Before that, she stayed on...
He wanted us to get a feel for the place where he was raised and show us the impact of gun violence in his community. So he took us to the Clinton Peabody's, a notorious housing project just south of downtown. In 2018, a joint federal investigation turned up 20 guns and more than 5 pounds of heroin in the complex.
1445. You know, that's the name of my entertainment company. But like this dent right here, this where it happened at.
The police?
Yeah, still right there. We just heard boom, and then, you know, we just see a bunch of flashlights. So they come in, they just get to putting all us in cuffs. All of us, even me.
You were 7 years old and they cuffed you?
Yeah.
Was that your first experience with the police?
Yup.
And it was them cuffing you in your grandmother's house?
Mm-hmm.
Ezo says his family's success in the drug trade gave him a more secure upbringing than most. He was an honors student athlete and attended some college before chaos back home pulled him back to the streets.
Even if you don't want to be a part of it, you're gonna have to eventually if you stick around long enough. And that was my problem. I was around too long. Just seeing like your friends getting shot and killed all the time, that is like that's gonna make you vengeful. That's gonna make you wanna go hurt somebody. No matter who it is, you're gonna want somebody to feel that same pain that was just inflicted on you.
Many corners in this neighborhood seem like murder scenes.
Real, Lil E, Moo Moo, Dirty, Jay Snake, that's the first friend I ever lost. This Junebug, he got a story, man. Like he lost a daughter and a son. Like his daughter got murdered. That was like, I wore this like every day for her, Jelly. Since that's his daughter, like grew up with her. He just recently lost a son like a month ago.
But it was the loss of his best friend Tiger on the 4th of July, 2017, that really got to Ezo.
Like crazy, man. And like while this was going on, Like I got Tiger last Snapchat. While this was going on, it was a trash can on fire. So he was just outside, you know, like on Snapchat, like, yeah, no. Like that was his last snap. And we were supposed to go seeing the fireworks or whatever, like going to pop some firecrackers and stuff like that. My son was asleep in the car. So I'm like, man, I'm finna go drop him off, man, I'll be back.
So I go on my phone, I see my baby, he live. He by the trash can. My friend, she stay around the corner. I'm on her porch now 15 minutes. And I heard somebody say, where Miss Bobby at? Miss Bobby. I think Tiger done got shot, he laying in the alley.
10 minutes later, I get a call like, Tiger just got shot. I'm like, what, man? I'm like, what? And
he was good when he got to that hospital. And then we all outside smoking cigarettes, everybody like, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay. But it wasn't okay.
we went to the hospital and that's where he died at.
My baby didn't deserve that. And anybody that know Lil Brian know he did not deserve that. And ain't nobody locked up for killing my child. This is the second one of my babies that got killed down here. They lost 4 brothers in 20 years in St. Louis, Missouri. It's not right. But Tiger was a good baby. Yes, he was.
Drew man in school, so what up, Drew?
He was so used to having his father. You know, from day one, Tiger been in his life. They was thick as thieves. All he was waiting on was for Jabril to be born. He was so happy to be having a girl. They had named her and everything already.
This is where my situation happened at, right here.
Just a month after Tiger's death, Izzo was confronted by an armed man he knew in the projects. After a scuffle, Izzo shot and killed him and fled the scene. He later turned himself into the police and was released the following day with a finding of justifiable homicide.
Yeah, he came up to me. That's where he died over here though, like right here on this lane.
Now, Izzo must worry about retaliation as the cycle of violence continues.
They don't want to see what was like the bigger picture. They just see all my cousin gone, all my relative gone, my homeboy gone. We got to get our revenge. So like I gotta, you know, stay on my toes about that. I don't have no remorse for what I did, because at the end of the day, I got kids to get home to. But my thing is the paranoia that come with it. Like, you never know who loved them. You know, I can be out, like, I'm known. Like, it can be somebody that loved them that, you know, that might just one day walk up on me and, you know, blow my brains out or whatever. I don't want my kids to go through that. Like, I don't want my kids seeing none of this stuff that I seen. They gotta stop somewhere, you know?